Hi everyone, good evening.
Hi, sir. Good evening, sir.
I'm audible, right? Loud and clear.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir. How's your kid, sir, now?
Yeah, it's fine. But it came to me, guys. I have full throat pain. If my voice
Okay.
is not clear, bear with me today. Okay.
Yeah, no issue.
Let me go to this. Okay. So let me just recap what we have seen in the previous class, right? So let me go to resource group. So we have seen about Databricks, right? And let me open Data Factory as well. I'll just recap what we have seen in the previous class. Let me launch Workspace. Launch Data Factory Studio. So if you go to the Databricks workplace, first you need to create cluster. So about this cluster, I am going to teach you about this cluster in the when we start Spark. Okay. So let me just start here for timing. And we have created the notebook here, right? So if you go to the workspace, so here yesterday we have seen how to read the data from the blob storage. So if you want to read the data from the blob storage, the first and foremost thing that you need to do, you need to have the mount point. So this is the mount point which I have created, and you can connect to your source system and you can read the data. So this is the code to read the data. So I have read the files from the blob storage. So this is the data that is
Sir, sorry for interruption, sir. Sir,
yeah.
can we write like that if a mount point exists, don't execute the creation mount point code and
Yes, you can write if condition there.
because I checked in the online,
Yeah, see
which
that is it.
says
You
that
just need to have the if condition there. That's it. Check this mount point is available. If it is available, then skip that code. That's it.
I'm seeing that Spark.SQL method, which I see from online and which is checking that mount point. But I tried that command, it's not working for me.
No,
So
no.
I'll
Anyway, when we go with Spark, right? So we have all these things that will be covered. Okay.
okay, sir.
Still, we have not started the Spark. Okay. And we need to learn few Databricks commands as well. So if you want to test that, if exist, if not exist, okay.
Okay, sir.
So that part. Just now we are covering all the flows. How many flows we have? Okay. Once the flows is completed, then we need to dig into our transformation logics. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay. So this is the code to read the data. Anyway, I'm going to explain this code in detail when we go with Spark. And here I'm going to do some transformations where I'm going to select only 2 columns. And finally, I'm writing the data to ADF Gen2. So this is the simple code that we have written here to read the data from the blob storage, to do the transformations. And finally, I'm going to write the data into ADLS Gen2, this location. So this notebook we have executed from the data factory here, right? So if you go here, so we have built the pipeline to call this notebook. So here, first you need to have the linked service. So we have created all the linked service. If you go edit for linked service, you need only access token. So this access token will be generated in the user settings. So we need to generate the token here, and we need to start using the token. Okay, and then here there are 2 ways. One is cluster. So you can use the existing cluster, which is available that I have started here. Or so when you need to use this all-purpose cluster, whenever you want to do some kind of POCs, if this cluster want to use multiple people, so this kind of things, you can use the all-purpose cluster. And job cluster, mostly we use it for production workloads whenever you have scheduled your job, to create the cluster and then execute the job, and it will stop the cluster. So I'll tell you what is the advantage between all-purpose cluster and job cluster when we go in deeper and deeper. So this is where we have things, and this fixed and auto scaling. Anyway, we are going to discuss when we discuss about the cluster. Okay, and then click on test connection. Once a linked service is established, then you need to call the notebook, which notebook you want to execute. So you need to either right click, copy file path you can do, or you can directly browse from here as well. So once everything is configured, then you can publish this. So it is going to publish in the data factory. Then you can do on-demand trigger. So this pipeline will run. It will read the data from the blob storage. It will write the data, do transformations. Finally, it is going to write the data to ADLS Gen 2. So this is what we have seen in the previous class.
Sir, in this same pipeline, we can only use only one notebook, right? Or we can incorporate multiple notebook also in one
If
pipeline?
you want in one pipeline, then you need to use one more database notebook. On successful of
Okay.
this, you can use one more notebook like this.
Okay, got
Okay,
it.
you can have a number
Yes,
of things.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. Or if you want other solution as well. So if you want two notebooks to execute, okay. So you can use the run command here. So in this notebook, okay. So if you want to execute one more notebook, you need to use command called run command %run, and you need to give the path of the notebook here. So that will be called inside here. So you can call a number of notebooks here, like run command 1, 2, 3,
And
like
that notebook should be present in this workspace, right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can call that anyway that we are going to see this run command, all these things we are going to see in Databricks utilities command. Okay. This Spark will start on Saturday. Okay. Saturday we are going to start Spark. So before Spark, I need to cover data flow, which we are going to see. Okay. So now we have seen this thing, and we have built the pipeline right here to copy the data from SQL database. So we use copy activity, where it will copy the data from SQL database to or blob storage. From blob storage, Databricks will pick the data, it will do transformations. Finally, it is going to write the data into ADLS Gen 2. So far, any questions here from anyone? I hope you guys are able to follow me.
Yes, sir.
So any other guys? Any other questions from anyone?
No, sir.
Yes. Guys, I'm requesting again and again, please practice. If you practice, you'll get doubts. Definitely you'll get doubts. I'm here to help you. Okay. Might be sometime I'll respond lately, but definitely I'm going to look into that. I'm going to resolve. I'm going to help you. Okay. When you practice, you learn a lot. That is what I'm requesting you. Okay. You have everything in place. You have documentation. You have the environment. You are not even worry about anything. You have everything in handy. Just you need to spend some time and build some pipelines, run, plug and play with this. We're not going to write any business logic here, because you are not going to write any machine learning models here where you need to use your brain. You just need to use logic here, how it is going to work. So if you know this thing, then you learn a lot of things apart from this. Okay, this is the basic thing that you should know. Apart from that, once you know basics, you can explore a lot of things on top of that. Okay. Now, for transformations, we are using Databricks here. So whatever I have done here with the code, I can do the same thing with the data flow as well, So data flow is also one of the transformation technique that is available in the Azure Data Factory. So most of the customers, like 10 to 15 customers, before they don't have Databricks. So Databricks came into picture in 2014, 2013. So most of the customers, they don't want to spend much cost on the Databricks. So if they have simple transformations, they'll go with the data flow. So whatever here, you can write the custom code in the data flow. You can't write the custom code. It's like everything is a drag and drop kind of thing here. So this is also one of the transformation tool. Databricks is also another transformation ETL tool we have. So both are same. Whatever I have done now, this logic, whatever I have done the same thing, we'll do the same thing from the data flow. We'll do the same thing from the data flow and we'll see how it is going to work. Let me delete this first. Let me cancel all these things so that you have this reference. Now, if you want to create the data flow, first what you need to do, you need to create pipeline. So you need to create pipeline and you can say data flow, okay, data flow ETL will mention, okay. And then now, if you want to do that, so this is our entry point. This is our data flow entry point, okay. So this is my entry point. So it's like this is my entry point. So when you go here, so you can change the data flow like read from blob storage to ADLS. So what I'm going to do, right? Whatever I have written here to read the data from the blob storage, do transformations, and finally write the data to this location. I'm going to do the same thing from the data flow, and we'll see how it can be achieved without coding. Okay. So now I have done this one. Read the data from blob storage. Now, if you go to the settings, I have a data flow here. So I don't have anything that is available here. So I need to create new data flow here. So when I click on this new data flow, this is where the data flow page will come into picture. This is where this data flow page will come into picture. If you see clearly, this is your front door. For any house, this is the main door. Once you enter this main door, once you enter into from this main door, then this data flow, this is the flow which will come enter. So this is the main door for you. So once you click on this edit data flow, or once you click on this data flow in the settings, then the actual page will open for you. Actual you will entry from here. So here for any data flow, you need to have source and sink. Means your source, what is my source? So I need to add source. My source might be anything. So I can get whatever, see, if you see here, I can get the data from any of these source systems. Whatever data factory supports, all these things are going to support here for you. Okay. So Azure things. So if you see this file store is not available, table storage is not available here. So if you see it is supporting only these two databases, these are gray color here. So it is not enabled in the data flow. So you can read the data from any source system. So source is my where I'm going to get the data, either from blob storage, anything. And you need to have the sink. So always source and target should be available. So source might be anything and sink might be your destination where you want to write. In between, if you want to select some columns, so you can use the select here. So you can use the select and you can filter that. So we'll see this later point of time. So let me configure the source. So what is my source here? When I click on this, my source is blob storage. So let me select the blob storage. So I'm going to read some CSV file. So let me go and see what is my storage here. So this is storage, right? Blob storage. So let me go to the storage container. So I have this test container. Inside this, let's read this sales order.csv file. Okay, or let's read the employee CSV file only. So let me go here, CSV file, click on continue. And now for this also you need to have linked service. So you need to create linked service for this. Either you can use the blob storage which is available and it will provide you the container, test container, and I can select the same file. File rather header, click on OK. So now my source is ready. My source is ready. Okay. So you can have all the skip line count. Okay. Validate schema. If you want to validate, you can validate the schema as well. A lot of things are there. First, we'll see the simple flow. So my source setting is done. So I have 7 columns here. And if you go source columns, like list the files, change data capture, maximum columns it is going to. So you can update this as well. So we'll see this later point of time. This is not much important. And these are the column names by default. the 7 column names you have, right? So employee ID. So this is where you have all the columns here. If you want to do optimization, you can do this. So right now not required. So let me go to the source. Now my source is ready and sync. So where I want to write this data, I want to write the data to my ADLS Gen 2 location, right? So if you go here, the source, if I go click on source, I have configured. So let me go to the my sync. So if you see the sync here, so this is the sync one. So you can use this as a target location, ADLS Gen 2. You can mention like this. Your source, you can mention it's a blob storage. Okay. So now my blob storage, my ADLS Gen 2. So I'm going to read the data from the blob storage. I'm going to write the data into ADLS Gen 2. So we should not have any space. Okay. Now if we see, this is very important, incoming stream. So for this sync, from where the data is going to get, from the blob storage. So you need to select that blob storage. By default, it will come. So if I add one more thing here, right? So if I add one more thing here, add source. Let me give source one. Okay. And if I go to the sync, it will show you the two things, this source one or source two. If you select source one, so now it will come here. If you select blob, it will go here. So you need to select what is your incoming stream. Okay. So that is very important. Incoming stream is very important, from where you are going to get the data. So this is blob storage. Let me create ADLS Gen 2 location where I want to write the data. So you can write in Parquet format. Okay. Now I need to create linked service for this. So I have already, let me create new linked service. Let me select the subscription, account name. So what is my account name? If I go here, so if I go back, what is my subscription name? Harish US Market, right? So if I go here, so ADLS US Market, right? So let me select the same thing, ADLS US Market. Okay. So now my test connection, click on create. Okay, now I want to place the files where I want to write the data. So earlier we have written the data to this Databricks demo, right? So let me write the data to same location in the Parquet format. Let me click on OK, and then, or we can select some other folder. So let me go and create one more folder for this data flow thing. What happened? Why it is not refreshing? It is taking blob storage one. Let's see what is this. This is enabled. So if you see how this one, so this is hierarchical is enabled. When I go containers, yeah, now it got properly. Earlier it is showing test container, right? Let me use data flow. I think I have already one. Let me use data flow one. So I want to write the data to the data flow one. Okay. Let me select the path where I want to write the data. Data flow one. Okay. So now my source and sync is ready. So my source is blob storage. I'm going to write the data to ADLS Gen 1. Now, let me go on, click on publish this. So before you click on publish, you can validate the pipeline. So there is no errors in the pipeline. So now you can click on publish, publish. So now you may get one question, sir, where I need to run this pipeline? So I need to run this pipeline here. So we don't have any options here. So we are not going to run here. So the main pipeline is, this is the one which is the main pipeline. This is the main door. When you click on this, so this will open this one. So if I see, when I click on this will open the data flow for you. So this is the main gate entry for us. And once you open the gate, then you are going to write the logic here. Okay. So now I am going to run this pipeline. So I have published this. So if you want to run, it's as usual. So you need to click on trigger now. Click on OK. So now my data flow will execute. Now my data flow will execute. So if I go here in the monitor monitor, so I can see my data flow will be executed here. So if you see data flow is executing. If you go inside this, so if you go detailed, then it will open actual data flow, source and destination. So if you see source is block and sync is ADLS Gen 2, so it is running. Let it run.
Sir, what is this Parquet file, sir? We heard many times.
That it's a column storage format. That Parquet storage we are going to learn in Spark. Okay. We are going to learn what is CSV file, what is Parquet file, what is JSON file, how file it looks like, how to read different kinds of files. So all these things we are going to learn in detail in Spark, because we have detailed course for that. So let me show you that course so that you won't get confused. First, I want to complete basic high level flow so that you should understand how it is working. Then we'll go deeper and deeper. It's a column storage format. Column Parquet is nothing but it will store the data in the column format.
Okay.
And it is specially designed for big data ecosystem, Hadoop ecosystem. So whenever you want to read the data, read and write, it's much faster.
Okay.
And it is in compressed format. So you can save the storage cost as well. Because that data is compressed in the Parquet format. Always compressed. Means it has zip. You see here, so this pipeline is still running. So it will take some time, pipeline will run. If you click refresh, so first it will take some time because data flow is a little bit slow because we have given less configuration to run this pipeline. So I'm going to share almost 5 to 6 notebooks. This is only the Spark data engineering, not Spark only, and we have data engineering, data analytics as well. So we'll see that later. Okay. So if you see this is still running, let it run.
This ETL running time depends on which, like based on the data or like a range of data, or like how much time it takes, like
based on our configuration, what kind of configuration we have given here. So when we create the pipeline right here, okay. So when you create the pipeline, if you see here, timeout session, I have given these things here, right? If you see, so there is see compute size. I have given small. So if you give large, right, it will run much faster. It will use more memory, more this thing. If you want to go for custom thing, if I click on custom, so you need to give how much driver you want, how many memory process you want, 8+8 driver, 16 plus. So if you give more driver, the cost will be more for you.
Okay.
So based on your configuration, I have given small. So because of that, it is going to take some time. Okay.
Okay.
Go to pipeline months. I should have given medium. So because of that only I have selected small wantedly. Okay. Let me click on this. Yeah, it is succeeded now. Okay. Now if you see, this activity is also completed now. Yeah, it should come here. So it will take few seconds to update this one. Now if you go and see the data here in the data flow one, Now the data is written in the Parquet format here. In the Parquet format. Okay. So this is how, even if you see, the same I have done in the Databricks as well. I have read the data from the blob storage in the form of CSV file. Okay. I read the data in the CSV file. While writing the data, I have written in the Parquet format. Earlier, I have used Parquet here, and I can write the data in the Parquet format.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
Can we able to read the data? Means, for example, here we have stored in Parquet formal, right? If I
Yeah.
want to show the see the data, where I need to see
You need to use command for that.
command. Okay.
You can't open this data because this is compressed data. Even if you open this data, right, it is compressed format. Even if you go and see the data in this from this location, you can't see that. So if you want to read the data, there are two options. You need to use df equal to spark dot read dot Parquet. You need to give the path of the file where the file is present. So this is the path, and then I have given data flow one, right? Data flow one, and then you need to give this path file, or you can give the directory name directly. Okay. So if I run this, so it will read that Parquet data for you. I think I have attached this cluster. Let it run.
Okay. Here you have given path, not name, right? File.
Because Parquet files will be multiple times. Here it has generated only one data flow. Sometimes what happens, right? It will generate multiple files. You can give file name as well, or if you want to see the data, you can use display command. So now you can see the data. That 7 columns will be available here for you.
Okay. If we have single file, then path enough, right? Yeah.
See, that's what. If you have any CSV Parquet files, usually it will have. We have the concept called partitions. Okay. So by default, Spark has, based on the file data, the files will be decided by the Spark. This here it has written one file now. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
But when you write the same file, when you return the same file here, right? We have written file yesterday, Databricks demo, right? Here we have written in the CSV format. So let me run this one and see the same code here, how it writes the data in the Parquet here, Spark. Okay. So Spark will decide how many number of files that you want. Okay. Let me run this code once again. Just let me run this code. I'm not going to run this one transformation. Directly, I'm going to write the data to this df1 data to this location in the Parquet format. Now let me write the data. Now if you go and see the data in this folder, refresh, see the Parquet. So Spark will decide how many number of files it wants. It is currently writing to one file. If you have huge data, it will generate 3 or 4 Parquet files for you. Okay, that we'll see when we go Spark. Okay, no need to worry about that. So if you go here, right? So this is the Spark material. It has written Python Spark. So we are going to see all machine learning. Everything is available here itself. So this is the course. We need to learn about Databricks environment commands, Spark overview, how to read CSV file, how to read Parquet file, what is a Parquet file, how to read tables, how to read JSON, how to read the data from relational database systems. So we have detailed notebook for each and everything, which we are going to execute and learn these things here from scratch. Okay.
So this workspace, okay, you already uploaded documents.
Yeah,
Workspace.
just now I have uploaded in front of you, right? So this is how the
Okay.
code will be. So we are going to see this one, all these things. Okay.
Okay, so document also we can store in the Databricks itself. Okay.
It's not material, it's not document, it's a material. I have done
Material.
the DBC file, Databricks archive file. Okay.
Okay.
All are DBC files here. So I'll tell you how to upload, import, all these things. We'll see later. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you see, I have run the data flow here, right? So I have run the data flow and I have copied the data from blob storage to ADLS Gen 2. So whatever the Databricks does here, we have done the same thing with the data flow. So it's purely customer call what they want, whether they want data flow or Databricks. But you should see the differences between data flow and Databricks. When you go for data flow, so in data flow, you have only predefined these options. You have only these options: lookup, exist, select. Only these things you have: pattern, string, filter. Only these things you have. If you want to write any custom code, if you want to do some mission kind of learning here, so you can't do that. Whatever you have things here, so you can use these things only, and you can perform your work models. But in Databricks, you can do your own scripting. So you can write your own code. You can write Python code. You can import Python libraries. You can write machine learning code on top of that. So you can do whatever you want. So that is the flexibility that Databricks has. But data flow, you don't have that flexibility. You don't have that flexibility in the data flow. And if you want to do rich kind of transformations, you want to write some custom logic or custom functions, data flow won't support, but Databricks will support that. So it's purely customer call, what kind of use case they have, and either you need to go with data flow or Databricks. That will be decision will be taken care by your solution architect. You should not worry about that. Okay.
Sir, while creating this data flow, right, you use a single source and a single destination.
Yes.
To have a multiple source, is it possible?
You need to have multiple source. Then you need to have the source like this. So if you go here, right, so you need to add the source here. Okay. So in this, for this target, you can select only one incoming stream. You can't select multiple incoming streams here. Okay. So that is the what you need to do. You need to do the join operation here. If you do the join, okay. So join, if you go to the join, it will ask you what is your left stream, so blob storage, and right stream you can use source one. So like this, you need to combine the source, join that, and then you need to do that things.
Okay.
But if you should have both the same data sets, whenever you are joining, right, you can join different tables as well based on the condition what you have, left join, outer join. So if we go here, we have full outer join, left join, right join. So you need to select proper join, which joins you want. Okay.
Okay.
But for one flow, one source system you have. For here, you can have the different data source system. Okay. You can, for here, you can have the blob storage. Here you can get the data from different source systems. Okay.
Okay.
In the inside data flow, you can write this, but not here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now let me go one step back. So far, any questions here from anyone? Any questions so far from anyone here?
Sir, can you explain the lookup part once in this?
Yes, that I'll explain later. Okay, but this is good, right? Everyone here?
Yeah. This
so lookup and these simple things, I am going to provide you some kind of assignments for you, okay, which you need to do. And if you face any issues, I'm going to help you. Okay. So lookup, we have a lot of things, right? So if you go here, these are filter for each. And if you go general, you have some activities here, lookup activity, store procedures. So I want you people to explore one by one and do practice. Okay. So what I do at the end of that, once we complete the Spark, because we need to cover a lot of things in the Spark. So I'll go Spark, first I'll complete the Spark data engineering workflow, and then we'll come again for these things, these simple things, because this is the one-time activity. All is one simple, straightforward things which we need to learn here. That we'll see at the later point of time. Okay. Now, inside data flow, if you want to do the select, so whatever we have done the aggregation operations here, right? Like selecting two columns. So if you want to do that, you need to add, go here, and you need to add the select here. So you have a select, so you can select the number of columns here. So if I go here, so I can select the number of columns that are available here. So it is for this select one, incoming stream is blob storage. Okay. And if I go here, so I have this many number of columns. So I don't want employed is not. So I can delete this one. and I want only first name. I don't want last name, phone number. I want only email. So I can delete these columns. So if you want to add any extra columns, you can add mapping as well. What kind of mapping you want. And then if everything is done, now for this serialization to what is the incoming stream? Select one, this select, right? So if I go here, this will be select one for incoming stream. So now it is coming only total 2 columns here. So now let me click on publish. Let me click on publish. So like this, you need to export these things data flow. So for this data flows, I have a documentation here for you. So I want each one of you to practice all these things. Take sample file, okay? Take sample data set, whichever the data set that you have. Like, see, create a pipeline to copy the customer data from CSV file to SQL, where customer ID is even number. So you need to create source, and then you need to do filter operations, and finally sync, export to SQL database. So like this, you need to have the database file, and then this is the data where customer data is available in the storage, and filter operation. You are going to get only customer ID percentage to only prime this one, okay? Where even numbers to get even numbers. So once you did, then the sync is settings SQL database. You need to allow insert, and then you need to create the tables here. Linked service create table, and you need to use table name here. So once you are done, you can run the pipeline. So this is where you are going to write the data to SQL database. So this is where you need to write. So this is one use case. So like this, you have 4 to 5 use cases that are available here. Create a pipeline to join 2 files, customer and customer address. So how you are going to do the join operation. So you have the detailed explanation here. Just take 2 data sets and start doing this. Okay, start practicing these things so that you are familiar with the data flow. So tomorrow there is no class because it's a holiday, right? So I want every one of you to practice these things and complete this exercise. So we have a lot of exercises here on the data flow itself. This is only for data flow. And each and everything we have explained here clearly. Now you know how to execute this thing. So you need to practice this thing and start learning this thing. Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it uploaded,
Yes, sir.
sir, that file, the task?
Now I'll upload in the drive. Now it's
Sure.
upload. Okay. So let me upload so that I won't miss you. So now I have added the select statement, right? So if I run this pipeline again, so before I run, what I do, I'll make this setting as medium so that let me publish so that it will complete faster.
Sir, compute size in the sense the file size, yeah? Here.
No. Compute size in the sense you want to run that code, right? You want to read the file, you want to write the file. So you need some memory, you need some data nodes to run that file.
Okay,
So that
if
is where,
yeah, if we give high means speedily it will run, no?
yeah, it will have more number of worker nodes. If you go here, right?
Okay.
If you go to the custom size, you can see the things like this. So you have 8 plus 8 drivers.
Okay.
What is that 8 plus 8 driver, sir? Why that is plus 8 drivers?
Fire drivers will read the data and it will write. So you need to understand the concept of drivers and executors there that we are going to see in the next class.
Okay.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, fine, sir.
Yeah, fine.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Let me go to the medium now. Let me click on publish. So if you understand the concept of drivers and executors, master, then you will understand driver master slave architecture. You should understand that anyway we are going to see in the Spark. So now let me run this code. Click on now. Now I'm running this data flow here. So let it run. Let me upload the file for you. So So now I hope all the recording issues has been sorted out for you.
No, sir. Actually, still I'm able to saw in mobile only. Maybe I'm not sure due to office laptop. I'm not sure.
Maybe yeah, office laptop. Okay. Try to access in their personal laptop and check. Okay.
Yes, yes.
If you have any issues, make sure that you sort it out immediately. Okay. Don't wait for them. You just tell them in the that group itself.
Yes.
Okay.
But I am able to download, but few of the recordings I'm not able to download, sir.
Okay, might be they have not given access, full access. Check with them. Okay. Because recording, I don't have control. I have control only documents. Okay, because recording, it is going to record, they are recording in the cloud. So I need credentials for that if I want to get that data.
Yeah, I will check with my assistant. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Actually, I have asked, sir. They told me option will not be given. Only for 6 months the recording videos will available. Something they told.
Okay, okay. So I uploaded all the required materials. Going further, I'll upload other materials as well for you. Okay. Going further, I'll go. So whenever you get time, go this Azure Data Practical. Okay. And where is the other one? Azure Onboarding Reference Architecture. I have uploaded these things already for you. You have this one. So this is example problems of Azure Data Flow. So you can go to this PDF. Okay. I request everyone whenever I upload something, make sure you download the thing and keep it with your hand. Okay. I give one download option for you. You can download here. Okay. There is no
Yes, sir.
restriction from my end. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now let me see this one has completed. So this is still running. So if I go to this detail tab. So now I have used select, right? So it is in queue. Now I hope you got some clarity. What is data factory? What is the pipelines? So now you got some clarity, right? How ETL is working here.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So if you understand the flow, guys, so you can plug and play with this. Okay. Let it complete. So now if you want to use Databricks, so this Databricks is a paid one. So if I have an account now, so I have a subscription. So I'm using Databricks to run my code and see that. But what happens if the subscription has been ended? So I need some account for Databricks to do that, right? So if you see how much credits we have utilized here, let me check how much balance that I have still. Good. We used almost 100. We used only 49 left. 49 is more than enough. So you can use this 49 and you can complete all the data flows, data factory. Anyway, I am going to provide you one more account, not now, after completing of Spark. When we go with Azure Synapse Analytics, we need 150 USD credits. With free trial, we can't do practice for Azure Analytics. I'm going to provide you one more account with 150 credits at the end when we start our Azure Synapse Analytics. So that time also you can do practice. Now you can utilize these credits, whatever the credits so far we have. Okay. Now these credits will finish. So if I want to run my Databricks, so what I need to do? So Databricks is going to provide you the free community edition. So Databricks has a community edition which is free for you. So lifetime. So you don't need of any credit card or debit card. You just need to create account. So if you want to create account, so I'm going to provide you this document. You can always go and create your own account. You just need Gmail ID. What you need to do? Let me complete this data flow and let me explain that first. So this is completed now. If I go and check the data in this container now, Databricks data flow 1, it will have only 2 columns. If you see, it has written 2 files, 1 at 7. So this is the file it has been written now. Okay, so now if I want to read this file, because this has select statement, so if you want to read the data, then I can go and do spark.read.parquet, and you need to give this file path here. You need to give the file path and then run this one. So it is going to get only 2. If you don't do this, what happens? If I don't give file name, it has 2 file names. So we'll see how the data will be read. If you see, it has read all the data, but if you see here, this data is available here, and from this you got only first name and last name, and remaining are not. So it is going to read all the files, but for the columns which is no data, it will be replaced with null. Okay, you understood? Here I have 2 files. This is the first time I have loaded with all the columns. This is I have loaded second time with only 2 columns. I have done the transformation. I have done the select statement right here. So this select is going to select only 2 columns. So I have 2 files here. If you give this directory path directly, it will read all the files. But whatever the data that is available, it is available. For the columns which data is not available, when I loaded second time, I selected only email and first name. So the remaining columns will be the null for this. So this is how the Parquet files will work. Anyway, we are going to see what is Parquet file, all this stuff going further. So any questions on the data flow? Any questions from here?
As of now, not. We need to practice, then only
Yes.
will come up.
If you practice, you'll get a lot of doubts. So I'm here to help you. Okay. Okay. Now let me create the Databricks account first. Okay. So this is the paid account. So I need to launch this Databricks workspace from the Azure portal, right? So we have onboarded the Databricks here. So we have onboarded here. This is the paid one. So whatever I'm running, this will be the paid. So the hourly basis, they're going to charge me. So now let me just clear something here. So I have some linked service, some triggers that are running. So because of that, my job is let me stop this. So because of this, credits are consuming. So you didn't, whenever you have scheduled trigger, make sure you stop it whenever you have done your work. Okay. So I'm just stopping so that credits won't consume. Now, if you want to create the Databricks environment community edition, so this way you need to follow these steps. So Databricks community edition is free for you. It's a version for our cloud big data platform. So you can create cluster here, single node cluster here, and you can have the notebooks environment. You can create notebooks, you can execute notebooks. You can mount the data to blob storage or ADL chain 2. You can read and write the data as well. So you can do all these stuff here. Now all users can share their notebooks, host. So whatever the service that we have options here, the same thing will be available there as well. So if you want to create the account, you need to go to the databricks.try. Okay, go to this URL. Go to this URL. Can you share one of your Gmail ID so that I'll create one of you guys? Any one of you.
Santosh MCA 6 chat.
Type in chat, in the meeting chat. So what you need to do? Santosh, you need to give. Yes, something you can give. So you need to give the Gmail ID. You can create with your Gmail ID. They ask company mail ID, but that is fine.
Entered.
Email ID. I have not copied that properly. Okay, and then you can give company name, any name, TCS or anything, and mobile number is optional. Okay, and India. So you need to provide these details. Okay, so once you click on this, so data engineering. So here, when you click on this page, right? So this is going to support whenever you choose cloud provider, AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. This account is valid for only 14 days for you. This account will be valid for 14 days. But if you want to create free account for lifelong, then you have the option called get started with communication. You have a link here bottom, get started with communication. So that is updated here in the PPT clearly. Once you log in, fill all the details. You should select get started with communication. So once you click on this, sorry, I have clicked wrong button.
Thanks.
Sorry guys, I have did something. Let me create. Click on continue. So let me click on get started with computation. Okay. I need to solve puzzle. So it is asking giraffe. Where is giraffe here? This is the one, right? So I need to select this verification. Now you will receive mail. Thanks for signing up. Computation. You should have received mail. So can you open that mail and you need to reset your password. Okay. So once you reset the password, so what happens? This is how the login page will come. So you need to go to the databasecomputation.com. Okay. So you can go to this page. Okay. So this is computation. So this is the login page. Okay. So you need to enter your credentials, whatever you are given the right, your name, Santosh, and you have received the link like this. So let me open you one link for you, how the mail will come.
Sir, for community and sorry, that normal and this one validity same or different?
No,
Community edition.
community edition is free, lifelong free. Okay.
Community edition. Okay.
Yeah. So you'll get the mail like this. Welcome to Database Community Edition. So they are asking you to verify the email address. When you click this address, when you click this link, right, it will ask you to re-enter your password 2 times. You need to create password. So once you create password, come to this URL and give username and password and click on sign in.
Okay.
So this will take you to the Databricks account. So if you see here, you don't have SQL here. So this is one of the advantage. And other thing is in the compute, you can create only single cluster. You can't create multiple clusters here. Only one cluster will be available, single node cluster, that's it. Only one driver will be available to run your workloads. Okay. I'll tell you the difference going further. And remaining thing like shade, users, data. So all these things is going to remain same for you. Okay. So I want everyone to create the account, your own account. So here you have the clear steps. Thank you for mine. So you need to go to computation.discom, enter your email address, then you'll get how to create cluster. So this is how you need to create your own account. So any questions here?
Okay. So in paid version, we'll get more features. That's the only difference, right?
Yes, in paid features, because you are for every hour they are going to charge for you.
Yeah.
So this is like your dev environment, support simple environment for you to do your POCs, to learn Spark, to do kind of POCs. But this is where you are going to do your real-time projects thing here.
Sir, one question. Last time you told, right, we have to give credit card. That is different. Something you have
That is for
told.
Azure account.
Okay,
For
this
Azure,
one. Okay.
this is Databricks account. This is only
Okay.
Databricks.
Okay.
See, I have onboarded Databricks here, right? So if I go here, so I have onboarded Databricks here, correct? If you remember, so I have onboarded the Databricks here,
Yep.
right? So I have onboarded the Databricks from here, from Azure. But this is purely independent of any cloud. This is Databricks environment.
Okay.
In real time, either you can onboard Databricks from Azure, AWS or Google, or independently as well. So for this, you don't need to pay anything. This is the lifetime access for you. It's free for you. They're not going to charge anything for you.
Okay. In Azure, we can't create free account. Okay.
Azure, you can't create. They'll give free account for 200 USD, free account. For that, you need to, even for that, you need to have valid credit card.
Okay.
then only you can create that. And that also you have a lot of restrictions there. You can't create the cluster in the free trial for Databricks.
Okay.
So there is a lot of restrictions there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So any questions? I can take it up for today. Guys, you guys are able to follow